Hey guys, Mauro here. If you have a two-handed backhand and you're having trouble generating topspin, I'm gonna give you a couple of tips that will help you to generate that speed on the red of the head of the racket coming around in order to generate a lot more spin on the backhand and an easy way to start practicing it, okay? Hey guys, if you're having trouble generating spin in the two-handed backhand, many times one of the things that you want to pay attention is many times when two-handed backhand players, when the ball is coming to your backhand and especially when that ball is not that far from you, they kind of become a little, well, we all become a little lazy in order to move to that ball. We don't really get in a good position there to hit the shot just because it's not a shot on the run. We're usually mentally more alert to the shot that we have to react and run towards, because it requires more action than just staying there and waiting for the ball and just pretty much getting in position and hitting. Whether you one-handed or two-handed backhand, any kind of player, it's a very common thing that happens, so you want to pay attention to that. One thing that I see very common in the two-handed backhand players trying to generate top spin is that when they swing that the most common mistake is those knuckles in the front of the grip in this position. They just hit the forehand and it comes to the backhand, and they don't switch that right hand at all. They just keep it in that position. So they don't really meet that ball in front of them. They let it come back here, and that's pretty much shoveling that ball. It's totally flat. It's just like a slap to the ball. So you know that you gotta bring forehand, and on the backhand you gotta bring those knuckles on top of the grid in order to get that ball a little bit more in front of you, in order to get in the position where we can brush the racket there. Now, two things that you need to pay attention to when you're trying to put spin on the ball is a lot of two-handed backhand players, they just get the racket ready down here. Let's say you had the right grip, but they still feel like you don't generate enough spin on that shot. Many times your swing is just going, what you're doing is you're just doing the backhand or the swing on the forehand and backhand. It should be kind of like a roller coaster, down and up and across the body, down and up and across the body. If you're more aggressive, then it's going more forward through the shot. But let's say that we're thinking about, okay, I want more of an arch shot, I want more spin, so you definitely want to do that roller coaster thing, down and up and across the body on both sides. So the backhand, many times they prepare here and they just go down and up. See, my arms are going down and up, but I'm doing pretty much nothing with the wrist, especially the position of the right wrist here. The tip number one is when that ball comes to the backhand, is you want to make sure that you turn well on your side in order to clear the way for your racket to go through the ball. When you just kind of turn, see, like a semi-open stance, even a little more maybe, but you're in this position, you're gonna hit. A lot of times you're swinging to the side. You're not swinging forward through the ball. You're swinging to the side. So you want to pay attention to that. First thing. Second one, if you wanna know if you're turning enough in order to hit through that ball, just pay attention to your chin and your shoulder. If they're in this position, that means you're turning well. That's good. That means pretty much your chest is pointing to the side fence. That's perfect. If you're like that, that's open. You know you're not in the right position to hit. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the whole right side body, the whole right side of your body is gotta turn. It's gotta come to the front, and you don't want to just go kind of a little bit. You want to make sure that you cross that right foot a little bit there, in order to generate, bring that racket far behind and generate that power. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you turn well on your side. The second thing is pay attention to the right hand. You have the knock on the grip. You have the knuckles on top. Once you're in this position, what you want is, you don't want to look you don't want the wrist look like that. You're just going down and up like this. No, you want to have when you're ready, you pull with the right hand, and you gotta get, if you gotta feel, if I go with just one hand, if I would have removed the left hand, you don't want to go just down and up. You pull with the right hand, which creates that snap of the racket, but look what happens to my wrist. You gotta get to that point where the wrist looks twisted, like this. So you're gonna make contact in front of you, see, down and up, and then you make contact up here when you're kind of pulling the racket up. Initially you go with the right hand, then this one follows up, drops, and follows up, bringing that racket up here. And what you want to feel is that you bring that left hand on top of the right hand in order to brush. And right when you're gonna make contact, that's when you snap. Now, something that like I say, something that is gonna help you practice for that is you wanna bring that left hand on top of the right hand in order to brush a racket. So what you can do is practice in short with someone, or even if you don't have anybody to hit, just drop a ball and just focus on bringing the racket down. Look at the wrist. See, my racket is kind of getting to the point where it's more or less like going to touch my left calf here. So you want to practice that down, down and up, down and up. Focus on this, on bringing that left hand on top of the right hand, and stop it there just to create the spin. Another thing is, when we swing with more power, the swing, when we go for more power, the frame of the swing means how, where we start, we go down and then we go up to hit, is a narrower, more kind of frame going that way. See, more aggressive. This one is more spin. So we're gonna finish short, not that far in the front, but a little shorter and bringing it around. So something that, like I said, the exercise that can help you practice with that, and you're gonna notice right away the spin. Focus on the twisting of the wrist and bringing that left hand on top of the right hand. When you hit, it's like the left hand kind of slows down, so this one comes up. All right, and you want to feel, you want to hear the strings moving there. You see that the ball, you want to pay attention that when you practice that, you want to make sure you don't pay attention to the speed. Pay attention to the trajectory of the ball, to the arch. Look at that, coming, and see where you finish here. The only thing you do once you start practicing that is you start letting it go a little more around all the way until you finish with that racket around the shoulder or on top of the shoulder. Okay? All right, guys. Well, I hope it helps. Let me know if you have any questions, any suggestions. And remember, just go out there, stay centered, be bold, and be personal.